Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. My name is Crown and today we are going to have some more stories that I hope that you will enjoy. But before we start, it will be so much appreciated if you would subscribe to the channel, like the video if you enjoyed it, and maybe leave a comment down below. These simple clicks would mean a lot to the future of this channel and really reward the effort that I put in every day. And now, without further ado, let's go! This was back in the 19s when we didn't live in a constant surveillance state. So I was bullied by this truly despicable kid in high school, who is merciless, evil and cruel. Bullying ranged from physical violence to endless name-calling to extortion. I was one of many. I finally had enough after the school failed to do anything about it. We had lockers at this time in school. I scored some weed and made nickel pouches out of little paper envelopes. I slipped about 5 or 6 of them into the slats in his locker along with some loose pills. Then I anonymously reported him for drug dealing. School security opened his locker to find the goods, and he was arrested and expelled, and nobody ever heard from him again. I don't think the school cared to see if he was set up because everyone hated him and wanted him gone. Idiot. For all the Karens in here calling me a psychopath and human garbage for doing this, let's get some things in context. The level of bullying was not normal. It included severe emotional and physical abuse. This crazy jerk primarily physically abused me before and after school. The last incident that sent me over the edge was so traumatic, I didn't care what would happen while I was walking into traffic. The bus stopped an inch from my body. That morning he waited for me on my walk to school, where he pulled me into an alley, repeatedly punched me and made me eat some dirty stuff in order for the beating to stop. He then took my school bag and shoes. I was new to the school with no friends and lived with my single mom, and she also is so abusive. He was not from a broken home and was a spoiled rich kid from a good family. My school didn't do anything to stop it, as most of the bullying was off campus. My guidance counselor told me to act tough and take boxing classes. Awesome. As an adult, do I think what I did was wrong? Technically. But I feel it was a creative response to rid myself of a truly terrifying situation. Hey guys, it's Crown. Hope you're doing well. I started a brand new channel called That One Story. It'll mostly include stories coming from different subreddits, but will definitely include some entitled people getting their comeuppance. I'll leave the link in the description below, so please subscribe to the channel to listen to the latest stories, cause I'll make sure to post videos on a daily basis. Thank you and have a great day. I used to live in a rental townhome. The place was great. It was run by a big company, but they paid an on-site super to run the office, coordinate repairs and so on. When I moved in, it was this nice older retired couple. Few years later, they moved on and the company hired these two young dudes. They were jerks. Recent college grads who looked down on the blue-collar tenants, did loud parties all night, generally ignored the grounds, ignored maintenance requests, and so on. But that's not how I got them arrested. In addition to renting the townhouse, you could rent a covered spot, and if you did, they gave you a hang tag, and if you didn't have the hang tag, you'd get towed. I had the same car, same spot, and same tag the whole time I lived there. One day, I come out and my car is gone. It was towed for no hang tag, but in the pictures the tow company took, it's clearly there. I paid to get it out and complained to the two idiots. They had to call to authorize a tow, and the company couldn't just do it on their own. And they gave me a non-genuine apology. About a week later, same problem. Again, towed for no tag. Again, the tag is right there. This time, I called the corporate office and complained. After that, it started happening nearly every day. When I talked to the supers about it, they would just laugh. I knew they were doing it on purpose, so I did some research. The tow company gave me the names of the people who called it in, and it was mostly one guy but some the other. The tow company wasn't liable because the landlords had called him, so that was out. But I did some research and found out that in my state calling for a tow when you know it's not a legal tow is Grand Theft Auto, just like if you broke into a car. I also found out you can record conversations in my state without telling the other person. So I went in to meet the two pros to talk about the situation. They told me on tape that the first 2 times were mistakes, but after that, they did it on purpose and would keep doing so until I learned my lesson. They stated that they knew I was okay to park there, but they didn't care. I took that recording and list of calls to a buddy who's an attorney, and he helped me take it to the local police. Police were more than happy to have a couple felony charges dropped into their laps, so they filed charges and went to arrest him. The corporate fired them the same day, refunded all of my fees for getting my car out of hock, and gave me a rental discount for a few months. They both ended up eating the felony and got probation. Last I heard, they weren't able to find decent jobs because of the felonies and also couldn't pay their student loans. Both ended up working construction, which they'd sneered at, because that's all they had left. There was a point in time years ago where I worked in a supermarket on one of the most flamboyant streets in our city. I will not go into details about what it was like working for this particular supermarket, but when 3 separate staff members were under so much stress that, well, they thought of doing something not so nice, you can imagine just how toxic it was. The fact that I managed to last 2.5 years was extraordinary. Anyway, I was pretty much the assistant store manager in everything but job title and pay rate. I had a store manager who was so lazy that I did most of his work for him. He also liked to clock out earlier than he should, just so he could beat the traffic to get home. It was my day off, but I had to come in to do an emergency order. One of our freezer units had broken down, and I needed to reorder all the spoiled stock. I had done the order and then decided to head up the road to a fast food establishment where the burgers are better. I was dressed in just a plain black polo shirt, a black denim jeans, nothing special. The uniform for this fast food establishment was a red shirt, black pants. I had placed my order and sat down at a nearby table while I waited for them to prepare it. There were about 3 other people waiting for orders and about 3 people waiting in line to order. Then in walks Karen. She sees the line and waits very impatiently. After about a minute, she spies me and comes over to me. "Why are you not up there taking orders?" "Excuse me? Why are you not taking orders? You shouldn't be sitting around like this." I don't work here." "Nonsense. I see you here all the time. Now get up there and take my order." "But like I said, I don't work here."
"You're just being lazy. You just don't want to work."
"I don't want to work?"
"Exactly. And with that attitude, you will never be any more than a fast food employee."
"Look, this is my day off, and like I said, I don't work here." At this moment, my order is ready, so I get up and grab my order. And Karen follows right behind me.
"So now you're going to take even longer to take my order. This is ridiculous."
"Look, if you want to place an order, there is no line right now. Go ahead."
"I don't care if there is a line or not. I want you to do my order, or I will get you fired."
"Look, I told you I don't work here. I told you it is my day off. I told you there is no line. Now I'm leaving with my food to enjoy it somewhere away from a rude, obnoxious person like you."
"How dare you call me obnoxious?"
Karen proceeds to grab my drink and tip it over me. The manager comes out and asks what is happening. I tell him my side of the story and Karen tells him her side of the story. The manager replaces my drink, gives me a large fries for free, and allows me to leave. While he talks to Karen, I decide to go back down to work and use the staff room to eat my lunch. While there, I got a phone call from the store manager. "Hey Obi, are you still in the city?" "Yes, why?" "Well, I left early and I'm nearly home now. I just remembered that I had a job interview lined up for this afternoon." "And?" "Well, I have experience with job interviews. Can you do it for me?" "Okay, when is this interview?" "She should be there in a couple of minutes. It is for the cashier role, so you know what to ask." "Yep, okay." I go to the front counter and tell the girls to send the person for the interview down to the store manager's office when she gets here. I finish up my lunch and wait. There is a knock on the door. The door opens and it's Karen, here for a job interview. The first words out of her mouth were,
"I'm not going to get this job, am I?"
And I just shook my head. So about 4 years ago, I went to my local swimming pool for a summer camp that my parents had signed me up for. It was one of those camps where you go to get this worthless ribbon that just says you can swim. But we had other activities heaped on to the schedule as well. The camp counselor I mentioned we will call Hulk. Hulk was large, strong, and a complete douche. Another important character is my fast friend and a victim. Let's call him Ezekiel. Now Hulk was a jerk from the get-go. He ignored the kids until they obstructed his Reddit reading, at which point he would use kicking and screaming to get his way. I'm pretty sure he wasn't bothered by the other counselors thanks to his dreadful reputation. Ezekiel and I bonded over another lesser level 1 douche who is irrelevant to the story so will not be granted a name. Not paying attention to the level 50 boss right in front of us, Hulk started his career by ending all the creations and ideas of the campers with his fist. He would destroy anything he didn't like. That was Monday. Tuesday and the first half of Wednesday, it was lunch, and as tradition, 30 to 11-year-olds marched out into the scorching battlefield known to all as a playground. Well, mostly the menace stopped Ezekiel and what happened next was pure chaos. Hulk snaps fingers, "Ezekiel!" And Ezekiel answers, "Yes?"
"Do you know what you did, you little jerk?"
Ezekiel was taken aback.
I don't know.
Hulk yelling in Ezekiel's face,
"Do you jerk? You didn't walk in a straight single-file line."
"Wait, what? But I…"
"You can't backtalk to me like that. You are banned from swimming here ever again."
By the way, he didn't have that authority. Ezekiel begins to cry and at that point Hulk slaps him, and hard he falls to the ground. Hulk donning his signature big grin left to the pincher leaving a trail of smug odor trailing behind. I help Ezekiel up and to the park. About an hour later it is time to swim, but as Ezekiel gets into his water shorts, the green mean jerk machine approaches and reminds Ezekiel he cannot swim. He begins crying again. I slipped out of that hellscape and into the scorching hot water with flaming closing palms littering the wasteland. I'm not sure what happened next, but judging by Ezekiel's black eye, it was not good. Friday, aka the day, it started by Hulk pulling the same bull on me that he did with Ezekiel. He didn't even change lines. It was like he rehearsed for this. But not all is lost. Not your humble narrator. Another counselor came in and stopped the punishment, but the best was yet to come. We were swimming about as usual when I noticed Hulk sneaking up on Ezekiel. Wait, wasn't he banned? I crept closer as Hulk demanded he leave. Instead of relenting, Ezekiel's response was a firm no. This made Hulk mad. Really mad. And to our horror, he grabbed Ezekiel and lifted him up in the air. Ezekiel thrashed about trying to get oxygen into his lungs, when Hulk smashed the child into the stone pillar adjacent. I can't remember the rest, but I can tell you the karma. 2 years of jail time, a $20,000 fine, and a ban from employment in that city again. By that rule, he would have to sell his house, drive 400 miles to the next city, and somehow find a life for himself with a red flag of blood on his resume. And now we have reached the end of today's stories. Thank you for watching and see you next time.